Every day we get to watch Turning Point USA crumble to the ground. We continue to watch their lies be exposed. The truth continues to be revealed. And it's a beautiful thing because truth always wins. No matter how much money you got, no matter how much power you think you have, the truth will always be revealed. And it is truly an amazing thing to witness in live time. And this is like one of the best, you know, crime mystery solving type things that happen in our lifetime. Unfortunately, Charlie Kirk, it's a real life situation, but we're watching things unfold in live time. And right now we are watching Turning Point fold and crumble and panic over the things that are coming out and how they're responding. And what we're going to talk about today is Andrew Covett and Blake Neff's response to Joe Kent saying that he's willing to testify if it comes to that point. Not saying that he's seeking out to do it. All he did was say, if somebody summons me to testify, if I'm called to the stand, I'll do it to tell the truth, which is the FBI blocked my investigation. We had several leads that made us kind of wonder if foreign involvement was a possibility, and we were blocked from doing that. And I would, if I was called to testify to represent the defense, I would do it. That's nothing crazy. What would Joe Kent say? No, that's shady. So Joe Kent is admitting that he would go to the stand and tell the truth if he happened to be called upon. And Blake Neff and Andrew Covett have a complete meltdown over the thought of Joe Kent potentially testifying. And that was completely shady. They couldn't have made themselves look more guilty after that. So we're gonna watch that and break it down. But if you're new, make sure you like the video, hit the sub button if you're new to the channel. I appreciate all of you guys' support. We're also gonna start off this video with something hilarious. Drewski, famous comedian, dropped a skit saying how conservative women in America act. And I'm not even gonna say anything to build this up or set the stage. Let's just play it. Let me get
Get on your feet. 4.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Congratulations! Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pop cup.
organic.
Yes, everything organic.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
4, 3, 7. Oh, Hannah, you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
I thought it was golden. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Drewski was mimicking Erica Kirk. And on across all platforms, I think it's around 40 million views under 24 hours, by the way. The video was dropped at 7 p.m. last night, and it has over 40 million views across all platforms in under 24 hours. So we're not crazy. A lot of people agree that this woman is weird. And the fact that Drewski is paying attention to what's going on as well without obviously commenting on it goes to that's telling within itself. So I thought that was hilarious. When I first saw that, I said, oh man, they don't play about Miss Shalami now. Hey, they don't play about that woman at all. And we gonna see, you know, they be going heavy and they be riding a dime for that lady. So we gonna see how it pan out. A lot of people are pissed off about it, which is kind of normal with Drewski videos. A lot of people be pissed off about Drewski videos in general. But with that one in particular, I said, ooh, you gonna piss some folks off with that one. But I thought it was hilarious. That literally is how she looks. And it should be, I know her PR team is just, they're complete, it's on fire. They cannot control the narrative around this woman. They can't make her look like this holy Christian perfect woman anymore. They have been trying. And it seems like every other day something is dropping with this woman. I seen the other day of half naked pictures of her when she was modeling. It's not working. It's not working. I didn't date anybody for 5 years. The internet pulls up her having 4 or 5 boyfriends in those 5 years. And one of the boyfriends being an employee of Charlie Kirk, one of her ex-boyfriends. It's crazy. It's a complete nightmare representing this woman. Her talking to the 15-year-old, it's not good. It's not good. And you can tell they realized that because at first they was pushing her on our TVs every single day. Now she's kind of like being secretive when she goes out and stuff like that. But all the interviews she used to be on, they stopped all that. They said, we cannot have you on the TV doing that ever again. This is exactly why. And it's funny because that last segment of when Drewski said, when he was mimicking Erica talking about, you know, we need to protect especially all white men. That's embarrassing, bro. That's because what are you talking about? And one of the kids behind her was a black student. And she said, especially the young white mailman. Remember that one? There was a black student behind her. Like, you can't make this up. But I thought it was hilarious. I thought that was a great way to open today's video. But, you know, in all seriousness now, Joe Kent came out and reported, or this reporter came out and said that Joe Kent agreed that if Tyler Robinson's defense team came out and contacted him to testify, he would be willing to do it. He said, that's not something that I'm seeking out to do, but he's willing to, if it means that the truth will be revealed. Which, that's a beautiful thing. Who would be mad at that? Joe Kent has said since day one, it could be Tyler Robinson. But I just know that there's a lot of other things that we should look into that could be in addition to Tyler Robinson. Wouldn't Turning Point USA want that? Why are they so heavy on, no, it's only Tyler Robinson, it's the lone wolf? Why are they so obsessed with the lone wolf? That alone makes them look guilty. Because if someone says, look, listen, it could be Tyler Robinson, right? I'm not telling you it's not. But I'm also telling you that I think it could be like at least 3-4 other people. Hypothetically speaking, let's just say we can put a number on it. I think it'd be like 3 or 4 other people. Why would anybody say, no, it's not? Don't say that. Stop spewing all of that. It's Tyler Robinson and Tyler Robinson only. Why are you against the thought of me saying, or the idea of me saying there's more people involved? Shouldn't you say lock them all up? But they didn't respond that way. And it's very telling how they responded to Joe Kent's comment saying that he'd be willing to testify if he was called to do so. I don't really think Tyler Robinson has a great defense team. I don't think they would do it. They should, especially with him coming out and saying that. But I don't think they will. But let's watch the response from Andrew Covett and Blake Neff on how they feel hearing the news that Joe Kent would testify if called upon.
Blake, how you doing?
I was better a few minutes ago, Andrew.
And we will get into that in just a second. So moments ago, a new report from journalist Michael Schellenberger dropped. As you know, yesterday we covered the backstory, but what really happened with the screen grabs, the notorious screen grabs now, and I revealed to this audience that I did, in fact, share that screen grab with Joe Kent. And Joe suggested that I leak that publicly. I declined. I went back through our messages, and he suggested I do so twice. I declined. Obviously, those were private messages.
Y'all see how Andrew Covett is starting to get very specific now. Just the other day, it was I sent the screenshot to Joe Kent and his team and numerous people. Now he's essentially saying, I sent it to Joe Kent. He's trying to get people to put the narrative that Joe Kent leaked it out. Joe Kent has denied it, and Candace has denied it. But they continue to push the fact that Joe Kent did it. Just the other day, Andrew Covett said, I can't confirm that Joe Kent was the one that leaked it. I sent it to him, but I also sent it to some other people. It could have been somebody on his team. It could have been anybody, right? Don't make me pull that video back up. We just was talking about that in the last video. Now he's saying, I sent it to Joe Kent. It's very telling. You can see this in live time that these people are lying and backpedaling.
I wanted to keep them private for Charlie's sake. I thought that was honoring my friend. Anyway, so this new report comes out from Schellenberger, and it says, as you see on your screen, that Joe Kent says he's willing to testify at the trial of Tyler Robinson. So this is obviously a huge bombshell and escalates everything to a much bigger level. I have reached out to Michael Schellenberger, and he has agreed to come on the show today. He interviewed Joe Kent for this report.
You're going to interview the journalist or the reporter, but not Joe Kent? These people are backwards. How about great idea, Turning Point USA. Great idea for you, Andrew Covett. How about interviewing Joe Kent? Did that ever come across your mind? Joe Kent sounds like he knows a thing or two. Why would he be willing to testify in favor of the defense? Why would he be willing to do that? You know what? We should have him on to learn a few more things. Maybe he knows something we don't know. They don't invite Joe Kent on the interview. They invite the reporter, the journalist, that all they did was ask Joe Kent questions, and they're going to come on here and just say what Joe Kent said. Why not just get Joe Kent? But that's, again, these aren't coincidences for me, right? There's a reason they're not doing that. It doesn't fit the narrative. Any normal person would just say, hey, Joe Kent has been on 1 million interviews. 1 million. There is no reason in the world the Charlie Kirk show without Charlie Kirk on the show could have called Joe Kent. Couldn't have called Joe Kent and say, hey, bro, come on an interview. Let's chop it up. Let's figure out what else are you talking about? I can't believe the FBI blocked your investigation. Let's chop it up some more. No, I guess Andrew feels betrayed about the screenshot being leaked that they don't want to talk to Joe Kent about anything now. It's so backwards.
So these are Joe Kent's own words. Michael Schellenberger will be joining us at 1:30 Eastern. So set your clocks and please tune in then. It's going to be an important conversation. And Blake, let's just take this out a step and explain why this is actually a really important thing. As you know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that we do not indulge, that we do not discuss. This is different. Joe Kent was a government official at a very important post, and now he's saying he's willing to testify ostensibly on behalf of Tyler Robinson.
Yes.
This is a bigger deal. This is a line cross that we have not seen.
Yes.
What is so bad about that? Am I missing something? I'm willing to testify on behalf of the defense team to tell the truth. What is so bad about that? If Joe Kent gets up there, he says, yes, the FBI blocked my investigation from further, investigating to see if there was any foreign involvement. Yes, that happened. Yes, all of this sounds weird. Yes, that's never happened before with any other case to see if it was any type of foreign involvement. Very odd, yes. How would that just completely just make all of a sudden Tyler Robinson completely innocent? It might add some interest, as in like, wow, that's why would they do that? That raises some red flags. Now they got to go at different angles and stuff like that. But why would that all of a sudden just completely exonerate Tyler Robinson? And they're pissed. They're pissed. You're mad at Joe Kent willing to testify. Again, that's the key word here. They're mad at the thought of it happening. This is not confirmed. Joe Kent never said he's going to. He said, if I'm called to testify based on everything I've been sharing with the whole world, this isn't anything new. Joe Kent has told everybody this. And that particular thing falls in Tyler Robinson's favor. That's why he would be testifying for the defense. It just so happens that falls in their favor. And if they call him to the stand, you want him to say no? What are we talking about here?
Let's just recite it where he says, Kent, this is Schellenberger's reporting on Substack. Kent said he knew he might be called as a witness before he made his statements that a, quote, foreign nexus may have been involved in Kirk's assassination. I was definitely warned of that over and over again, said Kent. If I end up having to play that role, then I'll do it. It's not something I'm seeking. When pressed that his
Blake is the most unserious person I've ever seen in this entire situation, in this entire investigation. The most unserious person. Did y'all not just peep how he tried to make that an animated thing with Joe Kent? Let's listen to it again.
Testimony. I was definitely warned of that over and over again, said Kent. If I end up having to play that role, then I'll do it. It's not something I'm seeking.
It's not something I'm seeking. Y'all think Joe Kent sound like that, bro? Come on, Blake. That might be you. Blake Neff, the lamest dude I ever seen throughout all of this situation. I don't know how he has a chair on this show at all. You think Joe Kent sound like that? Joe Kent actually been in the field. I'm talking about in the war fields. Like that. We talking about like actual real deal tough guy. Real gangster. That's what I call a real gangster. Joe Kent like that. And he's sitting here trying to acting like Joe Kent talk like that. Come on, bro. Don't play like that, Blake Neff. Both of these dudes are some middle school boys, especially Blake Neff. Why would he even mimic Joe Kent sounding like that? Joe Kent, like, come on, bro. That was such a put off for me, bro. Not that Blake Neff has ever felt credible to me. It's just like, come on, bro. Look at you. Look at Joe Kent. Don't you ever mock Joe Kent, bro.
When pressed that his testimony could help the Robinson defense, Kent said, then honestly, so be it. If it gets us to the truth, that's obviously the risk I'm taking. Neither Robinson's attorneys nor the prosecuting attorneys responded to a request for comment. And then I'm not sure if there's more. I might have to pay for Schellenberger's subscription.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure it does go further. And we're going to, like I said, be talking to Michael Schellenberger in the second half of next hour at 1:30 Eastern. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say. This
Call Joe Kent and figure out what he has to say. These are the things that make Turning Point guilty. This is what makes Andrew Kovac guilty, Blake Neff guilty. At first, Blake Neff was kind of like kind of hard to figure him out a little bit. No, guilty. All my opinion. Call Joe Kent up. Figure out what he got to say. Why are you talking to the reporter who just questioned the interviewer who just questioned Joe Kent? What are you going to say? How did Joe Kent respond to that? Did he seem like a little like confident about his just call Joe Kent?
This to me is galaxy brain run amok. And let me explain why I say that. Jonathan Turley, who is I guess he's a contributor to Fox News, legal contributor. He's a professor of law at George Washington University, said that 90% of the evidence accumulated against Tyler Robinson could be thrown out. So the defense could be successful in throwing out 90% of the evidence, and he would still be found guilty of murder.
Let's refresh people. There is a murder weapon that...
Refresh me, Blake. Let's see what Blake's about to say. Blake don't ever be talking about nothing. Let's see what he about to say.
Was found
successful in throwing out 90% of the evidence, and he would still be found guilty of murder.
Let's refresh people. There is a murder weapon that was found near the site of the shooting.
The murder weapon was, first off, it wasn't found by bomb dogs. A freshly fired weapon wasn't found by bomb dogs. And then when the FBI conveniently showed up, these rookie cops all of a sudden found the murder weapon right there. How did the bomb dogs not see that? Blake Neff saying he's not. You don't think he would say that, right? You wouldn't think he would add that in there, right? Of course not.
There is a murder weapon that was found near the site of the shooting. It was owned by Tyler Robinson's family.
Given to him by his grandpa.
Of the caliber used to shoot Charlie. It has his DNA all over it.
He owns the gun, Blake Neff. What are you talking about? His DNA is all over the gun that he owns. What about the other 5 DNA strands that were found? All of those people guilty too? It wasn't just, the gun wasn't conclusively tied to Tyler Robinson. There was 5 other prints on there. Doesn't fit your narrative, though. And let's just talk about what you're bringing up. His DNA was on the gun. He owns the gun.
Over the casings.
They release a photo of the shooter. They are not able to find him otherwise. Tyler Robinson's parents see that photo and think, that looks like Tyler. They begin asking him things like, where is your, I believe it was his grandfather's gun.
Mm-hmm.
They start asking him this. Tyler Robinson starts talking like he might kill himself. They get a friend of the family to sit down with him.
This is all from the FBI, by the way. The family has never came out and admitted any of this. This is what the FBI told us. And then let me bring up let me raise another point, another concerning point. Why are you trying so hard to make us believe that it's only one person? Why are they going so hard? It's Tyler Robinson. Joe Kent testifying has nothing to do with saying Tyler Robinson is completely innocent. Nobody has ever said Tyler Robinson was completely innocent. Why are they so focused on making sure it's nothing, nobody else, and no other entities? They're so focused on that. He's going on an entire rant on how we should all be convinced that it's only one person. That is so, again, more things that bring up that come up that make me speculate that these people are guilty. Why are you so obsessed with the outcome? Who cares? If somebody brings up a random point, let's just say they're lying, right? Let's just say they're lying and they say, hey, I got proof that 10 other people had something to do with Charlie Kirk. Why would anybody be like, don't you ever say that? It's only one. It's the one guy and they got our guy. And they're like, bruh, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying there's like 10 other people involved. Why don't you care about them? Just my opinion.
Actually, he might kill himself. They get a friend of the family to sit down with him. He admits that it's him. They get him to drive up to Orem and turn himself in. His parents helped him turn him in. And we run into people who say that didn't happen or that's fact.
Well, some people say that didn't happen because the security footage of him turning himself in has vanished. Are you going to talk about that, Blake Neff? No, that's not important. Just you telling us what the FBI has said. Look at his face. How am I not convincing you? Isn't it clear? Everything that I'm telling you is literally what the FBI has told me and told the world. So why don't you just believe them?
Fabricated. There's turn him in. And you run into people who say that that didn't happen or that's fabricated.
There's digital confessions.
There's digital confessions, but also his parents are out there. They have never stepped forward and said this is a lie. They could easily do that. It would be trivial to do that if it was the case. They have not done that.
Mm-hmm.
His parents.
Oh, really? Interesting. Let me pull up something. Let me pull up something that might be relevant to what Blake Neff just said. My apologies, Joe Kent. That was so disrespectful. Let me pull up something pretty relevant. I will find it. Please hold. What I'm pulling up, though, I can say, is that Brandy, forgot what their YouTube channel name is. She and her co-host or partner has been going to the Tyler Robinson trial. And they have been talking to Tyler Robinson's family. And you won't believe what she said that they're saying. And this is very important. So I'm sorry that I am stalling just for a little bit. This is very important. I pulled it up when we were on live the other night. So I know I have it somewhere. I was not actually prepared to show this. I just pulled it up. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. I just pulled it up the other night, man. Yes. Yes. What does Tyler Robinson's family think about this? You may ask. Well, let Brandy take it away. Brandy has been going to the pretrial hearings. Tyler Robinson did not confess to his parents, and this is a response to Blake saying Tyler Robinson literally confessed to his parents and was turned in by them and has his DNA all over the weapon to use to kill Charlie. Brandy says, let's also throw in there. Blake says, but some people are so obsessed with hating Israel. That's the same thing they are obsessed with literally every day, that they would try to help something. I don't even want to give him that much publicity in this video. Brandy says Tyler Robinson did not confess to his parents. As someone who has spoken directly with a family member inside the courtroom, I can tell you this. They said about 2% of what you hear in the media about Tyler is true. His family refuses to talk to the press because everything gets misconstrued. They also said Tyler is not capable of doing something like this, So ask yourself, does this sound like a family that would turn him in? It's also interesting that the footage of them turning him in is now missing or deleted. But hey, Blake Neff is making it obvious to us that he's guilty because his parents never spoke out about it. These people, man. Let's continue with this middle school kid going on this rant.
Parents turned to do that. It would be trivial to do that if it was the case. They have not done that. Mm-hmm. His parents turned him in. That is the most obvious piece of evidence in the world that nothing can argue around. And some people are so obsessed with these same conspiracies that they concoct for every other thing that ever happens And so they have to shove it into this one too, because they care more about their conspiracy theories than about the person who murdered my friend facing justice. I am fed up with it.
Yeah, and you should be. This is,
you ain't fed up enough, Blake Neff, because the man sitting right across from you, Charlie didn't text you the night before saying that he felt like they were going to kill him. He didn't text you, Blake Neff. He texted Andrew Covett. You're sitting right across from him, and Andrew Covett never told you that. Andrew Covett didn't even tell Charlie's wife. That man sitting right across from you knew beforehand that Charlie Kirk was going to die. Charlie Kirk didn't even text you. So if you're such a good friend, you should be livid at Andrew Covett. You should be saying, man, if he texted me the things that I would have done, how could you sit here and live with yourself? Why did you keep it a secret? Why didn't you tell anybody? That's how you know these people ain't real. Because I would have did that. I ain't sitting across from no snake. Hell, I look like. You ain't mad enough, Blake Neff, no matter how much you try to squint your eyebrows and all of that. You ain't mad enough. That's performative.
I mean, this is a tough job for us today, to be honest, because this is really personal. I have been open to everything. I think, candidly, I don't get enough credit for even the fact that I shared these group chats in the first place. We shared a lot of information about trans, about Charlie, how Charlie was more concerned.
Credit? Thank you, Andrew Covett. How could we have forgotten? You shared the screenshot that you also said yesterday that you regret that they were leaked. But you want credit today. So let's thank you, Andrew Covett, for releasing the screenshot that changed the entire trajectory and narrative of this entire Charlie Kirk investigation that you didn't even want to go public. Thank you. And you know what? Also, thank you for sharing the screenshot of Charlie Kirk just changing his views on Israel, but not sharing with the world that Charlie Kirk texted you saying that he felt like he was going to die. Beautiful friend, great friend. May this friend never find me.
Than any other community about the trans coming after him. You want to know the truth? Learned about the of information about trans, about Charlie, how Charlie was more concerned about than any other community about the trans coming after him. You want to know the truth? That's actually the truth. I heard over the course of the last 2 years of Charlie's life, probably about 50 references of how he knew the trans Tifa was going to come after him.
You want to know the truth? That's the truth. Charlie Kirk was terrified of gay people. Do y'all see how they are trying to just they're throwing everything they have at the last second? They're throwing a life raft or whatever them things are called. They're throwing it. They don't have nothing no more. Andrew Covett has never said that in 6 months. Now all of a sudden, you want to know the truth? Charlie Kirk was terrified of the gay community. He was terrified. Y'all don't know about how many conversations we had about Charlie Kirk being terrified of gay people. You know what? He didn't even tell y'all that he was homophobic. He told me that. Even though he's 6'5", 210 pounds, Charlie Kirk did not tell y'all how afraid he was of gay people. And he knew he was going to get got by a gay person. They bro, you can't make this up, bro. Now all of a sudden, Andrew Covett is bringing up these private conversations that Charlie Kirk always had a feeling he was going to be taken out by a gay man. Okay, bro.
And he was worried about that. That's the truth. Never mentioned one time about the Jews. Okay? Never once. And
except it's podcasts and public information that he said that he's sick of the threats he's getting from Jewish donors. He's sick of being called an anti-Semite. There's text messages of Jewish donors saying God is going to take your hand off of him. Whatever threat she said, God is going to take his hand off of you. What about the screenshot that you leaked, Andrew Covett, the real original leaker? That screenshot said, I am sick of the Jewish donors. They fit the stereotype, leaving me no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause. Now he's going to come out and say, Charlie never, ever, ever. Mind you, the text right after that was sent to him saying, they are going to kill me. Context here. He just went on a rant about his Jewish donors, and then he said they are going to get him. And Andrew Covett wants to make it clear. He never said anything about the Jews. It was only about the gay community. But just yesterday or the day before, you said you didn't want to release the screenshots because you wanted to protect the people in the group chat. What? Protect them from what? Charlie Kirk had no beef with them, remember? What? I could go on a rant all day. They just be contradicting this.
Here's why it's so frustrating is because there is going to be even more evidence that is presented to the public in May at the evidentiary hearing, okay? And it's a mountain of evidence, some of which has been made public, some of which has not been made public yet. And the prosecution is going to lay out its case against Tyler Robinson. And I'm told it's a whopper. I'm told they've got this guy dead to rights. And meanwhile, you have government officials.
If they got him like that, then it doesn't matter. Conspiracies don't matter. Joe Kent testifying doesn't matter. None of that matters, Andrew Covett, if it's a whopper. Interesting way to use whopper. If it's a slam dunk, it don't matter. The mountains of evidence, it doesn't matter then, bro.
Officials that told they've got this guy dead to rights. And meanwhile, you have government officials that are now saying on the record to journalists they are willing to testify on behalf of the defense to get Tyler Robinson off the hook for something that he did.
Joe Kent never said that. He said that when he testifies, whatever comes with that, if that means Tyler Robinson is acquitted of murder charges and pulling the trigger, then so be it. If the truth comes out because of him testifying, then so be it. That should be something that they should want too. They should. This is why I say I don't know why they don't get Joe Kent on there. These people aren't real though at the same time. If Joe Kent testified and not testimony, if whatever he testifies about, if what he says on the stand completely shatters the case and Tyler Robinson walks free, that should be something you want, Andrew Covett. If it just completely shatters the case because, there is literally more evidence that Tyler Robinson didn't do it, that should be something you want if you truly want the truth. It shouldn't matter. However, at the same time, nobody is saying that Tyler Robinson didn't do anything. Joe Kent is just simply saying, I'm going to just put it out there because I feel like it's more to it than just Tyler Robinson. But they are so hurt and hell-bent over the fact that Tyler Robinson is the lone wolf. Everybody, please believe it.
And so the level of betrayal that I currently feel is dramatic and extreme. The level of just frustration, the idiocy that is on full display, we have to call it out, because if this ends up screwing up the jury pool, if this ends up in some ways getting a hung jury, getting this case thrown out, or even just getting the death penalty off the case, off the potential list of consequences here, I'm not going to be happy with that.
Y'all hear that, right? They want the death penalty. And if Joe Kent gets up there and says the FBI blocked my investigation, that's it, because he hasn't really said much else. The FBI blocked my investigation. We had a lot of leads, and they blocked us to see if there was any type of foreign involvement. And there were different things that piqued our interest, but we weren't allowed to investigate. And if that makes Tyler Robinson not get the death penalty, Andrew Kovac is going to be disappointed. He's going to be pissed. Because off of that information, Tyler Robinson doesn't get the death penalty. Now, all of a sudden, Andrew Kovac is the maddest person in the world. It's oh man, it's insane. Let's wrap this up. Come on.
I'm telling you that as somebody who was open to all different options, I didn't care where the truth led. This is where the truth led.
I keep pausing it, but do y'all hear what he's saying? I don't care where the truth led, but this is where the truth led. Clearly it didn't, brother. If you stressed out about Joe Kent hitting the stands. And if Joe Kent hits the stand and whatever he says makes the truth spread out to realize that it's more than Tyler Robinson, you should be happy.
This is it. And for any fair-minded person, this is crackpot conspiracy, garbage, brain rot stuff. And now it's gotten really serious. This isn't podcaster junk. This isn't like social media conspiracy nonsense. This is an actual government official who's now going to be called to testify on behalf of the defense. And that is a bridge too far. That is a line in the sand that we must hold, because this could negatively impact the trial of the assassin of my friend, of Blake's friend. So that's the breaking news. I don't want to.
What do y'all think? Because this right here makes all of them look guilty. The fact that they are so mad that people won't accept that it's just Tyler Robinson. The fact that if Joe Kent gets up there and just says, hey, yeah, just tells the truth. He feels betrayed. You want Joe Kent to be summoned to testify and he says, no, I'm not going to. He's going to get up there and tell the truth, put his hand on the Bible and tell the truth. And you're mad that if that comes with Tyler Robinson getting off or less charges or not the death penalty, you're going to be mad at that? It's very telling to me. I think like we're watching guilty people in live time. We're watching Andrew Kovac and Blake Neff and Erica Kirk and all of these people. We're watching them in live time expose their guilt. That's why Andrew Kovac said the other day with Megyn Kelly, people process their guilt differently. And Megyn Kelly was like, grief. He said, oh, grief. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're guilty, brother. All of y'all. Now again, I'm gonna end off with saying I still don't think we're gonna get any type of real justice out of this. I don't see in the end Candace Owens out of all people being right. I don't see that happening. I think these people are doubling down the way they are because they know they're gonna get their way. I don't see it any other way personally. I don't see, us getting our way and Tyler Robinson, they prove that Tyler Robinson didn't pull the trigger and they prove that foreign involvement. No, I don't see that happening because I don't see Blake Neff, Andrew Kovac, Erica Kirk. I don't see all of those people, Brandon Tatum. I don't see all of those Shalami soldiers coming out and telling the conspiracy theorists that we were right. I don't see that happening. They're this confident because they know the outcome. That's why they're pissed if they don't get the outcome. That's why they're so worried that we might alter the outcome because they know the outcome. It's Tyler Robinson only. He's either not going to make it a trial or he's going to take a plea. And once he takes that plea, it's over for all of us. We won't get nothing out of it. It's done. And then they're going to all come out and say, we told y'all. So go on ahead and get ready for that. Get ready for that. They're going to come out and say, we told y'all, look, blah, he took a plea. Why would he take a plea if he's innocent? When people take pleas all the time when they're innocent. But that's what they're going to say. That's what's going to happen. They're not even going to have to present that much evidence. He's going to take a plea quick and everybody's going to say, why would you take a plea, bro? You have all the evidence in the world that prove your innocence, to exonerate you from all your charges, to be pretty much. But Tyler Robinson is also where he wants to be right now. He's doing his role in this entire plot. So he doesn't care about the evidence that proves he's innocent. He doesn't want to get out because if he gets out, that puts the entire military operation in jeopardy. That puts the entire operation of whoever's involved in jeopardy. So he's going to take a plea or he's not going to make it to trial. And these people are going to live on their life and we're all going to be wrong. And we told y'all, conspiracy theorists, they're going to do that. But we're going to know the truth of what really happened. That's what we'll know, because it will be exposed. These people will look terrible every single day that goes by. And even though they may win in the end, we still have the truth. And never again will they be looked at as innocent, God-fearing Christian people that were friends of Charlie. They will never be looked at like that ever again. Nor will Erica. Never again. They'll get off, but everybody will know truly that deep down they're guilty. And they'll never be taken serious. Their reputation will be ruined. So we'll get street justice as they get whatever criminal justice they're gonna get. That's my take. Let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all for supporting. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see y'all on the next one.